End of the day, I'm going to become an implantologist without an assistant, because Karina's going to become a movie producer soon. Okay, so we went to 13, maybe even a little bit more. There we go. Let's back it out. I'm watching the lower lip, folks. Pure rotation in the exit. Okay. Now we go to the next tip, which is tip number 1. Perfect, Mrs. P. If you can just stay like that, is great. You're missing the target site, please. So tip number 1 is a delta 2 instrument. So that's dilating the crestal portion. It's okay, I'm watching the lip, don't worry. Now, as I said before, if the instrument gets stuck and does not want to proceed, you back it out. And you can either use our posterior kit and give a little gentle malleting action, but it seems to be progressing very nicely here. So we're almost down to 13. And now we're slightly past 13, which is exactly what I want, in case my bone is not even in buccal and lingual aspects. So this is the 1-3 tip, and we'll back it out. Caution with the lip. Now I'm going to just suction Mrs. P's throat here gently. And now, folks, we're again up to tip number 2, which is the 3rd tip. And the 3rd tip is a delta 1 tip. Will not do anything in the crestal portion. It'll do less work by 50%, by 100% actually, compared to a delta 2 tip. So this instrument will go in much easier to depth. Now, in due time, we're going to be offering some hands-on courses on this system, which we're going to train using balsa wood, and we'll let you guys know if anybody wants to attend our courses. Close a little, Miss Parker. No, okay, open big. Good, perfect, right there, that's what I need. Try to maintain that opening so that I don't encroach on your lower lip. Give a little moment of dilation time for the bone, and then I proceed. We're almost approaching the 13 mark. And I'm going to slightly bypass the 13 mark, which will give me a little more room in case I want to submerge the implant a little deeper in the crest. Pure rotation in the exit, folks. I'm being very careful on the lip here. Open big again, Miss P. And we want to thank in advance Mrs. P here that she gave us permission to videotape the surgery. You want to just close for a second just so you rest? Okay, just don't squeeze. We'll give Mrs. P a little break for the jaw, and then we'll continue momentarily. And while we take a break, I'll just talk a little bit about this. So again, I'm up to instrument number 3. It's a delta 2 instrument because once again the dot is below the 3. This is going to dilate essentially the crestal portion, but it will start dilating it from within. Okay, let's continue, Miss P. So since this is a Delta 2 instrument, we have twice the taper, folks. So we want to go a little bit slower. I'm doing my best to retract for all you guys and gals out in the audience. And by the way, as I always tell everyone in these videos, I love to make new friends all over the world. I've made many new friends in the last few weeks. Anyone that wants to join me as a friend, feel free. Pavel Krastev, DDS on Facebook, Instagram, anything that makes you happy. We'd love to have you join our team. And as always, I'd like to thank Helmut Zepf for designing and manufacturing these beautiful products. And also I'd like to mention that in the very near future, we'll be launching some very exciting new products. They're on their way. Now, what I want to mention, if you guys can notice, maybe Karina can come slightly on this side. The bone is starting to expand. So right here, guys, if you focus, you're starting to see the buckle displacing. Okay? So how much displacement you want is really up to you. Again, if you see too much movement of the buckle plate, then I recommend you complete the rest of the osteotomy with a drill. Because the last thing we want to do is overexpand and break a plate. So I'm seeing the bone displacing here. So after I finish with this instrument, I'm going to have a look and make a decision. Do I proceed with the 4-7? Do I complete my osteotomy with the drill? Or do we put a 3-7? So we'll find out shortly. So we're almost down to 13. And as I said earlier, the bone is pretty dense in this case. So let's back this guy out. Open big Miss Parker so we watch the lip. Let's rotate out. And let's give a little thought as to what we have done, and let's give a little thought as to what we want to do. So take one picture, one angle of the inside of the osteotomy so we show our audience what we're up to. So essentially right now we're ready to place a 3-7 implant, but I'm going to be placing a 4-7. And if you guys see right here, we have beautiful expansion starting to occur. Okay. So let's go to the next tip. And I will be right back, guys, momentarily. While I switch tips. Each one of our kits comes with 2 handles. But when I do surgery, I like to use all 4 handles of the anterior kit and the posterior kit. So this way, I change less handles. Okay, so we're going to go for the 4-7 implant very cautiously. This is tip number 4. And I'm watching the buckle plate now like a hawk or like an eagle, because I don't want to do too much. Now it's going in nice and gently with very little resistance. Because this again is a Delta 1 instrument. So the Delta 1 instrument will not do any work on the crest. But the next instrument and the final for this case will very likely displace this portion much more. Open big please again, ma'am. Okay. So let's go slowly. Now as you guys, I repeat, as we start seeing this buccal dilation going on here, I'm going to go real slow. Matter of fact, I'm starting to see the bone moving a little more than I'd like. So I will back it out. Back it out. And we have a little movement there. Maybe we'll do the rest with the drill. Let's see how we're looking here. This little piece is moving a bit. That's not significant at all. I'll leave it there for time being. It's a small piece here, which is actually useless. I'll put it aside. I'll take this little chunk out, and I will proceed. Turn a little to me. Okay, perfect. Let's proceed. So this is the second to last instrument. Very slowly I'm going to go for the rest of the way here. Because as I said earlier, open big please, thank you. As I said earlier, the bone is fairly dense here. So what I will do, because the density is becoming too dense, I'm going to remove this and I'm going to finish off the rest of the osteotomy with the final drill from the implant system. Alright folks, so let's just show one more time here, Karina, what's going on the buckle. So essentially we're kind of splitting but without the split. So I didn't do any vertical cuts, and as you can see the buckle is starting to